ضمن جائزة محمد بن راشد المكتوم للإبداع الرياضي، اتحاد الإمارات للجوجيتسو يدعم ملف ترشيح اللاعبة بلقيس الهاشمي. الفجيرة تستعد لاستقبال بطولتها الدولية لمحترف الجوجيتسو منتصف يناير القادم. اللجنة المنظمة لبطولة أبو ظبي جراند سلام تواصل الاستعداد لجولة أبو ظبي في يناير 2019. التصفيات المؤهلة لبطولة أبو ظبي العالمية لمحترف الجوجيتسو تتواصل بقوة.
In 2009 and the World Pro in 2009 in Abu Dhabi, I think it was the first Abu Dhabi that we ever had. I won the trials in Brazil and the south of Brazil. I was just like starting to get more like professional. I was still a blue belt, 17 years old. I was like still kind of like new with like traveling out of the country. So it was like a very special moment. I think it was like the time that I realized that I actually want to do jiu-jitsu for the rest of my life, you know. And the event was like a pretty cool. It was like a pretty cool place. It was like they didn't have like the top. It was like you could see like the sky, you know, like it's just like a very nice day. It was like a very good experience, like very well run, and all the guys that are still competing today, fighting the black belt, Marcelo Garcia, Michael Lange, Calazan. So it was really nice to see that, be close to that. I used to train at GF team, the same place that Rodolfo used to train. So I used to train at Rodolfo here. It's a guy that's like won a bunch of times the World Pro. So I used to be one of his train partners. I have like a bunch of teammates that also competed a lot in Abu Dhabi. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, right? So I used to train in the headquarters from GF team. I live in Brazil for like in jiu-jitsu, like I was like doing for since I started. Was like I started with 14 years old, and I moved to the United States 23 years old. So it was like 9 years in the process. And I don't know. I think it was always like I always dreamed big, and as soon as I came to the United States, the things started like working out better with my mind. So I guess everything is the right place now. I was living in Florida, South Florida, and I decided to move to California. And at that time, there was no GF team here. And I had to choose, like, I couldn't go to Brazil at the time for personal reasons. But I had to change it. I had to decide which team to fight. And I was really respected Romulo, and was a guy like that. I knew that he's like a real person, you know, like he's always like making it real, like he's not like a, you know, fake. And he has a lot of good guys, like a lot of guys that he made them become world champion. So that was for sure was the best choice that I could ever make. They're very similar people in their own ways. They both like real person. They're not gonna tell you something if they don't think that. They're not just gonna be like say something to you just to be nice with you or to become your friend. If he doesn't think that way, he's just gonna be honest and be like straight up. He's gonna tell right to your face. And the same way that Julie would do. Julie was never like, he would never like lie to you. And sometimes that can hurt, you know? Because like if he's telling you your weakness, you know, the mistakes that you're making, sometimes that can be a little painful, but it's necessary. Well, I still like, I think like, if you have like a friendship it's not like changing teams that's gonna change, you know? I'm still friends with all the guys that I was my friends before. If you were my friends before, they're still gonna be my friends now. So I'm still close to Ricardo Evangelista, that is like really everybody knows in Abu Dhabi. Igor Silva, also Rodolfo is a good friend of mine. Some of the other guys too that still train in Brazil. Some of the guys that train here now. So I'm still like I'm still close to a lot of people there. I mean, of course, like I don't see them as much as I used to, but they're always gonna have a important place on my heart. I guess like both have their strengths, like both places they have their own strengths. But I'm gonna say that my life here, it's a little easier than it used to be in Brazil. I work here in Meraki, so I have a place to teach, and I grew in my career, so now I'm more like responsible, more mature, and so it's hard for me to say that if it's only the teams or if it's also me that change, you know, like in all the environment. Now I have like more ways to get better, and I guess like both of the places, like you can say that both are the best places in the world, but like Gracie Barra, for sure, like I can't see any other place like that, like world champions everywhere, you know, like guys that I want to become a world champion. My goal, I wake up every day to thinking that I want to be the best fighter in the world. I don't think anything different than that. So every single day I'm thinking the same thing. So when I look to the side and I see Romulo that won 5 times, Gabriel that won 2 times, Otavio that won 3 times, how I'm not gonna feel ready when the time comes, you know. So I guess like both teams, they have they're both super respectful teams. Like still like GF teams still like bringing a lot of champions, you know, like still making a lot of champions from the blue belt to the black belt. Gracie Barra the same, and I have a lot of respect for both of the teams. That's probably one of the hardest decisions that I ever had to make in my life. It was like necessary because if I didn't do that, I would probably be regretting that for the rest of my life. So it was something hard, but like a lot of times in life we have to do something that is going to be really hard, that you don't want to do it, but we have to do it. So it was something that I needed to do to keep like improving, keep like chasing my dream. And for sure, some people, they're going to look you kind of like different, you know, but my friends, they're always going to look at me the same. And something that I think is really important is that we don't mix the competition with friendship. For me, if you have a real friend and you compete against that guy, it's not gonna change because you compete with him. There's no ego. You're competing to try to get better, competing to try to be the best at that day. It doesn't matter who is. So if you're actually doing your best and you really bring in the best to your friend, to whoever is in the other side, that shows respect. That shows that you're giving your best, that you're actually dedicating yourself to fight against that guy. It doesn't really matter if you win or if you lose, it doesn't really matter if it's your friend, you know. And if it's a real friendship, it's gonna maintain even after the tournament. Actually, it can even increase. We have a friend here. He's a bronze medalist in the Olympic Games, and he says that all the time. He's from judo, you know. He's like, man, competition makes you better, and competition is supposed to make you closer to people, you know, like supposed to make the friendship stronger. I guess it's important to both doing like an important role in jiu-jitsu. Abu Dhabi, I guess, like you guys bring more the nationality, right, of like in the tournaments. We're really going there to represent the country, you know, like I'm going there to represent Brazil, and that's something that is like the closest that we can get to a feeling that we have in the Olympic Games, right? So that's like the biggest place that you can be in the sport. So I enjoy it, you know, like it's fun to represent my country, especially that I'm living in the United States for 3.5 years. So it's something that makes me feel good, for sure. I've been competing in that tournament for the last 2 years. So 2016, I got second. I got hurt in my final. I was competing against Edwin, that now is my teammate. So the fight was like 2-2 in the moment that he swept me, and then I fell right on my shoulder. So it was like I had to stay like a couple months out. So it was a little like frustrating. But I decided that I really wanted to compete in the year after. So it's 2017. So I won 2017 at 85 kilos. This year I decided to do 77. I think it's gonna fit better for my game. And I cut a little bit of weight. I'm fighting lightweight now. And I have like some tough guys. I have some former teammates, like some guys that I used to train with, that are like my friends. Other tough guys that I actually already fought before. So it's gonna be a really high level event. Next year for sure. I'm working hard for that. I've been working that for my whole life. I've been working for that for my whole life. And I guess I wasn't prepared enough to make it happen. Kind of put a lot of things together. My training now, it's matching. Like my physical training, it's good. My mental training is good. I have a good strategy. I'm around good people, you know. Like I'm around the best guys in the world. Like I learn from that every single day, you know. Kenny Foran, Jason Hunt, Romulo Barral, Gabriel Arges, Ed Najim, Otávio Souza. I don't have to say more names, you know. So if I can be with those guys, why cannot also be world champion like them? And I guess right now everything is kind of like getting together, you know. And I'm already, I guess, like I'm one of the missing piece that I had was the rhythm, like when to start like training for worlds. A lot of times, like people, they start training for worlds 2 months before the tournament. But this is very far. So I start noticing that a lot of guys, when they win worlds, they're already competing right after the last worlds. Like, so they really like getting with them. So when they create a lot of momentum. So when they get awards, they like so much above all the other guys, you know. So I believe that next year that's gonna happen. I cannot control the results, but I'm really giving my best. I'm really trying. I'm really trying to overcome a little bit every day. And I guess in June next year, you guys are gonna see the best Victor that I ever saw. And for sure, one thing kind of complement the other, you know, like Abu Dhabi really helps for that because you guys have a lot of tournaments that really high level. So you cannot reach that point without fighting a lot. good guys, you know. So as more as you can fight those guys, easier when it gets to Worlds, you know. So at that point, you can be really, really sharp. Yeah, in Brazil, it used to be more like, I don't know if it's just, it's Brazil in general, or if it's just the team that I used to train, but we would do more like live training, actually way more than drilling. And here I feel like in the United States we have more the culture of like drill a lot, you know, like repeat the position, where I think it's really, really important, mixing with the with the fight, right? You have to learn the movement. So you learn the movement. After you learn the movement, you have to practice the movement. But this has to be a constant the whole time. You're learning and practicing, learning and practicing, learning and practicing. So this is like every day you should be doing both. If you're just doing one, it's wrong. If you're just drilling, it's wrong. And if you're just fighting, it's wrong. You cannot only do by instinct, and it cannot only be like a robot, right? So you have to mix both. And I think like here we have the perfect place. Life is good. Have a lot of the quality of life is good. You know, like you have it's a little different than Brazil. In Brazil, you have like some like social problems, you know, that most of the world knows, and it's kind of sad that that's happening in Brazil now. I wish I didn't have to leave my country to be chasing my dreams. I wish I would still be there, but United States is the right place to be right now for me, and they have the best support that an athlete can ask for. You know, like it's good for my diet, it's good for my training, transportation. I'm safe here, you know, and I have a lot of stuff to do. I'm learning. I'm in LA, that is like the place with more successful people in the world. You know, like you have like people that are good in what they do in a lot of things. You know, like you have like even here at the gym we have like people that like artists, like have actors, singers, like photographers, like filmmakers, people. Yeah, we have people. Yeah, we have people that do like all kind of things. You know, and this helps, you know, because you're learning, because it doesn't really, we're doing different things, but the process, it's almost the same. So it helps to learn from those people, learning really close from them, you know. I mean, not real actors. I never really had a contact with actors, you know, that's like the biggest stars. But I have like some people like that do different, they like doing something different, also like something not conventional. You know, like people that work like YouTube, or like people that like writers, or like you know, filmmakers, or like all this, and I guess like it's very like appealing for like actors, and you know, it's just like jiu-jitsu is just like interesting. You know, it's always like something new. It's something that you only use in your body against another person's body. So it's kind of like interesting to see, and you don't have the chance to get hurt, you know. So I guess like for people that are really using their face, you know, they cannot be like hurt all the time, you know. Jiu-jitsu is like the best option. Carlos Gracie, he started. He had a vision, right, that he wanted to make the sport. At the time, it was not even sport yet. It was just a martial art. He wanted to make something bigger than himself, and so he created all this, his whole plan to, you know, to bring jiu-jitsu, make jiu-jitsu be the most important thing for his family. So started in Belém, then went to Rio, and now it's here in the United States, right? And he was like, one thing that those guys that did was really smart. They used UFC to promote to the big public, right? They used like a guy perfect for that. There was Royce Gracie, that was like just like 60, 70 kilos, you know, and that guy was fighting guys that was like 100, 120 kilos that from other sports, and he was being able to beat those guys, you know, to win the fight against those guys. So that really showed the efficiency of the art. I have some people that inspire me to try, that make me, that give me the motivation to do my own thing. I don't want to be a copy of anyone. I don't believe in that. If you're trying to be a copy of someone, I think you're doing wrong. But I do have like some guys that, you know, even like closer to me right now. I have Jason and Kenny, the guys that really like inspire me every day. Romulo is a guy that, you know, like you don't have to really talk about him. He's the guy that everybody knows. Rodolfo was one guy that always inspired me. Rodolfo Vieira, you know. It's a guy not only in the mats, but also off the mats. He's like a very like humble guy, simple guy that keeps himself. He doesn't really like let the glamour of like being the champion affect him, and that's really, really important to keep being the champion. I have other guys from other teams people that I never really trained with. I would say Marcelo Garcia. It's one of my biggest influence. I really like to watch him. That's a very good style. Like as a guy that, like very like, when you watch him fight, you can really see a guy that is like living 100% in the moment. He's not really thinking about anything else. Not really thinking about strategy. You just want to choke the guy out. I would say Rafa Mendes is a guy that changed the history of the sport, really made something different, created something different. And Jiu-Jitsu is more professional now, a lot because of him and his brother. You know, the way that we see marketing and the way that we started to do the Jiu-Jitsu schools, it's a lot because of them, you know. So we have to thank a lot of those guys. I don't know, also like a guy from the old school, Fernando Margarida is a guy that is like one of my favorites. Very aggressive guy, like also like a guy that is like really like living in the moment when he's fighting, and it's very, very inspiring. Well, I think it's like it's not a really smart way to see, and a lot of people actually make that mistake, to kind of like separate too much those things, and they kind of ignore the old school. They try to be too much new school, and the old school, they ignore the new school, you know. It's kind of like a ego thing. But actually, if you can get a little bit of both, that you can really like become a more complete athlete, you know. A lot of things from the old school we still can use, and now I think we can use even more, because a lot of people, they don't study what people used to do. So you can actually surprise those people. But it's wrong if you just get stuck in time and you don't know and you don't learn what people are doing now, because you have to know. You have to know what everybody's doing. You have to study. You have to be aware of everything that is happening in the game. So I guess like we should respect the old school and try to bring that to the present, but also like be open-minded to learn the new school. I don't know. I started Jiu-Jitsu because I wanted to do MMA. That was my reason to start Jiu-Jitsu when I was 14 years old. I even did Muay Thai at the time, but I don't know. I just want to spend as much time as I can just doing Jiu-Jitsu. I want to like spend more time learning other things too, but I want to dedicate myself to Jiu-Jitsu. This is like, I want to do that. I want to give back to Jiu-Jitsu, what Jiu-Jitsu gave to me. So I want to keep it. gave me everything. And when I say that, it's not like I'm being honest, I'm being real. I'm everything that I have now, all my friends, the way that I think, the way that I live my life, the opportunities, everything that I saw, and the visions that I still have in my head that I didn't accomplish yet. It's all because of Jiu-Jitsu. So, yeah, Jiu-Jitsu gave me everything. It's nice to be the champion. You know, like you do have to train to be the best guy in the world. It's fine. There's no problem with that. The problem is when you think about that too much and then you forget that you also have to become a good person, that you have to keep yourself humble, and you have to remember that you're just another person like anybody else, right? So, and Jiu-Jitsu is really good that, you know, like it keeps you in, it should keep you in touch with people, you know, like you shouldn't disconnect yourself to the world. And I guess just remember to be a good person right now in this day, at this time of the world. We need good people, and Jiu-Jitsu I think is the right thing I think is the hope that we need, you know, to bring people together, you know, like a really big brotherhood.
Coming your way.
Introducing the next finals. Male, black, adult, 77 kilograms. Red belt, Victor Silverio. Blue belt, Kyle Soren.
فيكتور سيلفيريو بالحزام الأحمر أمام اللاعب كايو سواريز.
Silverio in the black, Caio Suarez in the white.
I haven't seen too many of Caio Suarez's matches, especially not today. Victor Silverio, I've seen quite a few times.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very good everywhere. Good on the feet, good on the ground, very explosive.
I was just gonna say very explosive.
Yeah.
Now training at Gracie Baja, Northridge with Romulo Bahal.
Yep.
Whole room full of top-level talent there.
Definitely.
Caio Suarez. One of the things I like about Silverio is he's very well-rounded. Student of the game. Look at the passing.
Yeah.
Very slick transition now to the back. Oh, look at Caio with the nice little headstand.
I mean, this was a stacked division, so Suarez being here, I didn't see his matches today, but he's in the finals, so he had to get by some very good people, so. Silverio trying to throw the legs by, but
stop. I think he got whacked in the face
he got
there.
booted in the face. Just a big old like heel to the face.
Saw Gabriel Arges in the crowd there. We'll see him tomorrow in action in the the heavyweight King of Mats. It's very cool to see Gabriel stepping up to fight some of the big boys.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. Look at that, trying to get that collar off the pass there is Silverio. Silverio's movements are very precise and fast.
Sharp. Very sharp, very fast. Suarez looking to get this spider guard going here.
لكن يوقف النزال ويطلب من اللاعبين التواجد وسط البساط استئناف النزال بكل أريحية من وسط البساط في وضعية الكارت.
Fight. Minutes, 45 seconds left. Silverio up by 1 advantage. Trying to stand up to pry that guard open. Fight! Fight!
Into spider guard here. Suarez.
قطار 15 ثانية. سيلفيريو يسعى لتخطي الكارد.
A lot of lasso, foot in the bicep.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of this similar Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened, if everyone got a memo today. Play this time.
Oh, now Suarez lost his grip there. Now he's got it back. Nice move to the side there by Silverio. But left his leg behind a little bit. Suarez snatches it up and goes 50-50 and looking for a toe hold.
Minute left. Caio Suarez on the attack. It's not a great place to be if you're Silverio.
No, and the toe hold, the problem with the toe hold right there is if you can't quite get it, you could your opponent can backstep over your body, and so you got to be a little cautious of that. There's a knee bar coming. But Silverio bends his knee. Doesn't quite have this well enough. He's got to bring those elbows in and see that you don't finish a toe hold by pushing the foot to the butt. That is not how you finish a toe hold. You need to bring the foot close to your chest, not push it to the butt.
You twist it.
Yeah. You untie the foot. Yeah, you untie it basically, and you don't want to push it. It looks visually worse when you push it, but it's not very much pressure actually.
So you need to have the limb locked. Your body attached to it, and you twisting
you like
right to left,
you throttle,
as opposed to pushing away.
Correct, you throttle the arms and bring your elbow in, and you don't actually push the foot towards the hip. Ooh, there's their last advantage. So it's tied. That last.
So I must have blinked a couple times in this match. So thinking about it, if I take my knowledge of these two competitors away from this, I would give it to the person who tried the submission if it's tied.
Yeah.
That would be my personal criteria. I don't know what is going to be said here. I don't know what the criteria is when there is a tie, but that could be the case.
It could be. It could be. Was it significant enough to...
Now, looking at this, in my opinion, Silverio was the aggressor.
Wow, you were, but they went with the submission.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. In my opinion, Silverio was way more aggressive with the passing.
I agree.
And deserved it. But I think it's the submission attempt that got him that win.
Yeah.
So, tough match. Great job by both competitors.
Yeah, some highlights now. But I agree with you. I think control-wise, Silverio controlled most of it. I mean, but he did have a hard time with the spider guard. But
he tried so many times to pass.
Yeah, and like, look at that nice movement. But I mean, really, that's a beautiful counter.
That was a nice counter.
You know, it might just be in visually the dynamic nature of that movement might be more visually stunning. So it's easy to say, okay, that's visually stunning, but see, this is another nice pass around to the side, but he left the leg behind, you know, countered nicely and set up those footlock attempts.
It's one of those things, you know, risk versus reward. That right arm goes over the shoulder. You should be looking for the collar to attack the neck. And you know, if you hesitate for a second, you lose control. Maybe you're going for the back, but when it comes to a decision, sometimes those, you know, those attempts at the neck, those attempts in the submission can cost you. So Caio Suarez wins, gets the nod, and defeats Victor Silverio in this finals match. Tough match.
Yeah.
Я впервые на подобных соревнованиях в России. 2 недели назад я был на заключительных соревнованиях года в Абу-Даби. Здесь уровень организации ничем не хуже. Соревнования проводятся четко, грамотно, сознанием дела.
Настрой хороший. Выйдем, поборемся, посопротивляемся, посопернимся с парнями. Всем удачи, парни, занимайтесь спортом.